And welcome back. I'm getting better at that. I am anticipating when they're going to switch cameras so that you never lose sight of me. Well, it's television. It's what it's all about. Welcome back. My friends, you know, I was thinking during the break, if you look behind me, you see all of these magnificent books, these encyclopedias and history books and so forth. I see all those there. I have read every book in this library. I know everything in there. I don't need them here anymore. You know what would be fun to do? We need to get, here, I'm not going very far here. This, of course, #1, 4 weeks in a row, New York Times bestseller list, my book. Thank you. Thank you. What we need, in fact, somebody called the publisher. I want every book in these shelves to be mine. Just to tweak them, you know, just the liberals watching this show. How dare he be so gauche and brag about it. I just love to do it. All right, we're going to talk about Admiral Stockdale. By the way, I have to, because this show is new, we're adding new viewers every night. I don't know if you know this or not, but we're getting 400 new viewers every second on this show. We're attracting viewers faster than the U.S. birth rate, folks. And so every night there are people watching this show who've never seen it before. And I like to repeat some of the good lines. As you know, I have said that I think Perot is just maybe a month or two away from being a next James Bond villain, getting one of those Persian cats and some marbles, and he's take over the world. Then, after saying that, I discovered that Stockdale, his name is James Stockdale. His middle name is Bond. James Bond Stockdale. I mean, how is that instinctively correct or what? And I was thinking, how wise would it have been for Clinton before the vice presidential debate to say, hey, look, we can't have the name recognition go against us this way. I mean, if their guy has got James Bond Stockdale in there, Al, for the debate, you're going to be Pussy Galore. I thought it would happen, but it didn't happen. Now, Admiral Stockdale last night looked uncomfortable and out of place on the debate, and in the analysis of his statements last night, many people are being kind, compassionate, and understanding. My reaction to this, by the way, was, if anything demonstrates just how unserious Perot is about winning, it's having Stockdale go out there. They could have said, look, we don't need Admiral Stockdale to be in the debate. He's not prepared. I just wonder, do you think it did Perot any harm or any good to have Stockdale out there? It's a debatable thing because we always debate whether vice presidents have any role to play. But he said a couple of things last night. Everybody's saying are great things. Man, this guy really, really hit the nail on the head, and I have to take issue. And so I'd like to show you a couple of those things. First, let's roll the first clip of Admiral Stockdale at last night's debate, and I'll comment on it after it's over.
I believe that a woman owns her body, and what she does with it is her own business, period. Period.
That's it. Period. I've been waiting here for 15 seconds to tell you what I think of this. The simple fact of the matter is that this is something that plays well. It really panders to the pro-choice crowd, but it is intellectually vacant. We have all kinds of precedent in this country for telling women what they can't do with their bodies. Women are citizens first, and we hope to have law-abiding. Like, women cannot be prostitutes. Women cannot take drugs. There are a number of things that women cannot do with their bodies. So to throw this out is simple pandering, and I think it's a result of the Perot ticket thinking that the pro-choice vote is the majority vote and something they have to go get. But I don't think that statement makes any sense. I don't want to offend anybody with that, but it just is an illogical statement to make. Here's the next cut from Admiral Stockdale.
But let me repeat it for you. Here's what he said, Senator. You know full well what he said. You want me to answer your question? I'm making a statement, then you can answer it.
All right. Can we give Admiral Stockdale a chance to come in here, please?
But he said, Pal, here's what he said. If the vote, I mean, this is the Persian Gulf War, the most important event in his political lifetime. And here's what Bill Clinton says. If it's a close vote, I'd vote with the majority.
Let's give Admiral Stockdale a chance to come in.
That qualifies you for being President of the United States. I hope America is listening very closely to this debate tonight.
And I think America is seeing right now the reason this nation is in gridlock.
Oh, everybody loved that. But I have a problem with that, too. That's not what gridlock is. Now, a lot of people said after last night's debate that it was a bad thing. Why, those people were arguing. Why, that was bad for democracy. How can it be bad for democracy? They're sitting there talking about the issues. Hey, these are our times. McLaughlin Group, Crossfire, Capitol Gang, people shouting back and forth. On the one hand, people say, we need staid, respectful debates. And then we get a staid, respectful debate, and people say, how boring, how dull. We need the candidates to talk to each other, go at each other. So last night they went at each other, and everybody's saying, oh, how horrible for democracy. Why, this is terrible. You know what gridlock is? Let me do it very simply. This is what the American people mean by gridlock. And how do I know, you ask? How do I know the American people define gridlock as? Because I am America. I mean, the views that I express are the views held by most Americans. We in this country have the closest thing to a national referendum we ever have every 4 years in the presidential election. It is in presidential elections, except this one, that people vote issues. It is in presidential elections where we learn what we feel about these great issues of our time. So we elect a president on the basis of those issues, and he goes to Washington on the basis that we want him to do those things. He gets to Washington, and here he has to battle Congress, which has not been elected on the same basis. They get elected for having a sewer project or a nursing home or however much money they can bring back from Washington. Local issues have nothing to do with ideology in local issues. National issues do. Congress goes there, steps in the way, confounds what the president wants to do, as expressed by the people. That's gridlock. Gridlock is not debating. Gridlock is not arguing. That's healthy. That's good stuff. I'm sorry, Admiral Stockdale, but I think we need to have arguments. We need to have discussions about these things, and to call that gridlock is, again, a false straw dog. But lest I be accused of insensitivity, lest I be accused of being critical, Admiral Stockdale was brilliant last night in calling to the carpet Senator Gore and his militant, wacko environmentalism as such. Watch this. Watch this.
I read Senator Gore's book about environment, and I don't see how he could possibly pay for his proposals in today's economic climate. The Marshall Plan of Environment and so forth. And also, I'm told by some experts that the things that he fears most may not be all that dangerous, according to some scientists. You can overdo, I'm told, environmental cleaning up. If you purify the pond, the water lilies die. I love this planet, and I want it to stay here, but I don't like to have it the private property of fanatics that want to overdo this thing.
Oh, gee, I couldn't have said it better, and isn't it great when you say it with humor? We'll be right back. Don't go away.
There's a movement in this country to surrender the Second Amendment.
Listen to this. There is no reason for anyone in this country, anyone except a police officer or a military person, to buy, to own, to have, to use a handgun.
And, still quoting, the only way to do that is to change the Constitution.
That's not some nobody. That's the president of NBC News.
You see, it's a national media movement to repeal your constitutional right to keep and bear arms. And you can help stop it by joining the NRA.
For just $25, you'll get a year of great magazines and member benefits, and you'll be where all honest gun owners belong, in the NRA.
If you want to keep the rights your founding fathers entrusted to you,
the rights the Constitution guarantees to you,
the rights the NRA protects for you.
call now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ed Johnson, inviting you to join Valerie Parks and me every Saturday morning for a program called Agri-Country. We'll show you all aspects of agriculture in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. Be featuring a family farm nearly every week. Keep you posted on the latest technology in agriculture and feature a number of segments focused to those who simply enjoy the outdoors. Farm families, animals, and Mother Nature. It's what our show is all about.
Saturday mornings at 7:30 on 13 WTHR.
Hi, I'm Ron Meyer here at Indiana Car and Truck, picking up my car. Used car shopping can be confusing. You can't find the price, and most warranties say as is or 30 days. But at Indiana Car and Truck, prices are clearly marked on every car, and you get a free 1-year warranty. No as is, no 30 days like most dealers, but free 1-year warranties on the best selection of late model used cars in town. Indiana Car and Truck on Pendleton Pike, just east of 465. Shopping here is smart, really smart.
And welcome back to Rush Limbaugh, the television show. Show 'em. Here's the control room. There's Bo Snerdley sitting back there, everybody underneath a brilliant portrait of me. And there they are, waving at you. All right, kill it. That's good enough. You don't want to... Just a little motivation is all you need. Don't want to spoil them. Now, we're going to do some phones in this segment, folks. But let me set it up. First, there's one thing. I didn't tell you this at the beginning of the show. I am worn out. I am fed up. I am weary of listening to supply side and trickle-down economics being A, misdefined, and B, misused. The Clinton-Gore campaign loves to say, trickle-down didn't work, and as such, we've got to get rid of it. Trickle-down did work. The prosperity of the 80s is undeniable, and it's when the 1990 budget deal came along and we abandoned the economic policies of the 80s that this economy and your jobs started heading south. The way they are defining a supply side or trickle down is this. The rich got big tax cuts, and that allowed them to put extra money in their back pockets. Where did the rich get this money? From the poor. Don't know how that's possible because the poor don't have any money anyway. But apparently, the Democrats want you to believe that the poor gave up money to the rich and they put it in their back pocket, and the rich, because they're mean and cruel, didn't share it with any of us. No, they just kept it and they bought more things for themselves. That's not trickle down. What trickle down is? Trickle down is when you promote investment, when you encourage people to invest their capital. You don't punish them for it, you don't blame them for things, and you don't punish them if they succeed. You find a way to reward them, and that's what the 80s were all about. The entrepreneurial spirit was celebrated, and it was rewarded, and people invested, started business. That means you hire people, and that's the trickle down. Somebody puts their capital at risk. It pays off. The business grows, the business expands, people borrow money to start a new business, they hire people, they have to buy things, the people who make those things have to make more of it, business cycle all goes up. That's trickle down. It is not the way the Democrats are defining it, and somebody in the Republican hierarchy had better, if they have any hope of winning this election, learn to rebut factually this whole misnomer of trickle down economics that the Democrats are putting out throughout these debates. But does it really matter? You know, in 1980, the people of this country elected Ronald Reagan for 3 reasons. He's going to lower taxes, he's going to beat the commies, he's going to rebuild a military. 3 real simple things. Every time Reagan made a speech, bam, bam, bam. And the people said, yes, 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 and pulled that lever, landslide in 1980. He did it in his first 4 years, and so in 1984, we want more, and they elected him in another landslide. The liberal Democrats, unable to stomach the reality that his issues were relevant and good, said, nah, he's just a result of packaging and marketing. People don't care about that. But they were wrong. And I said, back then, throughout this current period, this is a healthy thing. People study the issues. They vote issues until now. If you vote issues, Bill Clinton doesn't win. Here we live. Well, let me show you. Let me just use my own words. I have an op-ed piece in tomorrow's New York Times in which I describe what Bush needs to do to win. Do we have that, Turner? Can we throw? Let me look this. This is what I write to explain all of this stuff that's going on revolving around issues. How else can you explain in this era of virulent distrust of government that the candidate ahead in the polls is the one most infatuated with making government bigger and more intrusive and more expensive. Obviously, no one's thinking about what the man actually says. If people were listening to what he was saying in this business of distrusting government, what do you think Perot's getting his strength from? Everybody hates government. They don't trust it. Stockdale is treated romantically because he's out there criticizing these professional politicians. And yet the biggest professional politician in 20 years is leading in the polls. It isn't about issues this time, folks. You're not thinking. This is all about change. All you want is to get rid of Bush. I challenged my callers on my radio show today. Call me. I want to know, what are the issues that Bill Clinton stands for that you can't wait to have him be elected and implement? We didn't finish with the calls. We want to take some now just to show you and find out what it is Clinton supporters actually think, issue-wise, he's going to do. Our first call is from Newport Beach, California, and it's from Alex. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Rouge.
Hi.
How are you doing?
It's a female Alex.
Yes.
Oh. I'm glad you called.
Well, I'm glad you took my call.
Thank you.
I have three things that I'd like to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, first...
Now, are these issues that, to explain why you're going to vote for Clinton?
That's correct.
All right, let me hear them.
Okay, number one, I'm against the anti-choice stand that the Bush administration
Pro-choice?
has. Okay. Number two, I'm for the use of medical marijuana for terminally ill patients. And number three, I am for fetal cell research.
Wait just a second. I didn't hear you because the audience was chuckling. I don't know why. What's the third one?
Fetal cell research.
Okay, I have heard him talk about all those issues. I've heard him talk about medical use of marijuana. I've heard him talk about fetal cell research and Actually, I've only heard him talk about pro-choice. I don't think he's running around. This illustrates my point here, folks. I don't hear him talking about those other two issues. But that's okay. I don't want to argue with you. I just wanted to find out what you thought. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thank you.
be good. Who's next, Bo? You gotta be faster. What? Robert from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hi, Robert. Welcome to the program.
Hey there, Rush.
Hi.
Rush.
Yeah. Why are you going to vote for Clinton, Robert?
Huh?
I say, why are you going to vote for Clinton?
Because he's thinking to put the middle class people back to work, which they should be.
He's going to put the middle class back to work?
Yes.
How?
You wait and see if he gets in there.
Robert,
and,
thank you.
Wait a minute.
Thank you. Robert, thanks for calling. I'm a little bit over time on a break. Thanks very much for calling and so far making my point. We'll have some more calls and some other stuff when we come back. Don't go away.
If you put 1 million dittos instead of 1 million bytes on one of these, you'd have a mega ditto on here. But where would you store 1,000 more mega dittos on one of these? A gigaditto. Gigadittos from an avid ditto head.